first of all, I've been a fan of your work for a while. I'm glad we get to finally talk. During the pandemic, I ask everyone the same two first questions. And they are, what TV series would you love to guest direct?
The Wire.
Yeah, no, The Wire is amazing. What movie or movies do you think you've seen the most?
Counting when I was a kid, probably, I remember I had a VHS of, do you remember the box of Apocalypse Now that was impossible to read anymore. Was completely destroyed for the time I've seen the movie.
Oh, because you watched it so many times.
Yeah, I have. But now it's something I do less. Because I was, me when I was 14, 20, 30, I was rewatching movies. And now it's something I never do.
Okay. Your dad was a director. He did some spaghetti westerns. And I'm curious, when you were a kid, did you grow up on these movie sets and did you realize, wait a minute, I want to direct as well?
Yeah, I remember exactly the moment where I understand how they make movie. Because I was, you're a kid, you are going to set, and then a little bit in the editing, and then in the mixing room, and then where they compose the soundtrack. So it's like you learn different pieces, but you don't understand exactly how it works, the machine. And then a day I was watching a Western that unfortunately I don't remember the title, but I was there and then I remember the emotion of putting together all the pieces. Where I said, whoa, I understand that they do small pieces and then they cut all together, they put the music. So I said, whoa, that's a wonderful job. Also because I was a kid and I was kind of jealous of these adult people that they were playing with much better toys than me. Because they were on real horses, not a stick broom, a real gun and not just your thumb and your finger. So it was crazy. He says, oh, really? It's possible to be a kid for so long? The answer is yes. Just be a director.
That's amazing. That's a great story. Did your dad ever share any advice that you've taken with you your entire career?
Absolutely. One is that never make a movie just for the story. Try always to figure out if the movie could eventually make sense. But not just in political way, but in the way that has to be relevant for the society you are living in. That it's like exactly what I did. Because he was right. Because otherwise it's just a movie.
No, that makes complete sense. Gomorrah is now streaming on HBO Max here in the States. And it seems like it's gotten a new life. What's it been like for you watching the show sort of get more popular now?
Yeah, I was really glad because it was sincerely unexpected. Because I remember the first time I was in the editing room with my editor and we watched the pilot that we were cutting together. I said, whoa, it's cool. But I mean, it's too brutal. It's in Napolitan. No one, it's like, it's going to be, if we are lucky, a cult show, but not for a wide audience. And then I was wrong. So to me, it was a big, big surprise. That makes sense, but I was surprised.
I am a big fan of the Sicario movies. And Taylor told me a while ago that he envisioned it as a trilogy. Have you heard if a third movie is going to happen?
I think they were talking about, I never had anything real specific or precise. I know that the idea was to make a trilogy. I think that probably Taylor has something in his mind. Probably, I don't know if he put together a real script or.
Yeah, hopefully it will happen. Jumping into why I get to talk to you today, your current movie. One of the things that I know about you is you like doing stunts with the actors and putting them in these situations. And I'm just curious, could you talk a little bit about filming that airplane sequence? Because it is pretty good.
Thank you very much, sir. I mean, it's like, I like when this is bad to say, I don't like action for action in movies in general. I like when the action is able to tell you something about the character that is involved in the action. I like when more than the action itself, you feel what your character get or how he change or how the action affect his soul. So, of course, in order to do so, you need to be, and I did it the same, for example, in Soldado. It's the big shootout where you have that it's almost done in the car through Isabel's eyes, and so in order to do so, you have to be really close to the actor in order to create a sort of intimate experience. But of course, the reverse is that you cannot use double or stuntman. You need to ask actor and the cast to play almost everything on their own. And in the airplane sequence was crazy complex. Because, of course, if you do everything with your cast, means that you need to shoot the movie almost entirely practically. So with the little help from the visual effects, but trying to do almost everything for real. Because then also your actor in the performance is going to be helped by being for real in an airplane that is rotating on its axis full of water. And then, of course, for sure, the underwater sequence was crazy because it has a lot of different components, and we shot it as a tracking shot. So you stay with the Michael during the entire crash. And then we bought an airplane, we cut it in pieces, and we immersed it in a tank. And then with a complex system of piston and motor, we rotate. And so it was, let's say, crazy to do, because of course, having your cast doing the scene, you need to do a lot of rehearsal to be absolutely sure that they are safe, because of course it's like this is the priority. And then I feel this one was a crazy sequence. And then underwater, and Michael was really brave and smart because he did everything on his own. So he was underwater, he was holding the breath for a minute too. But for real, I was like, whoa. But then that way was possible, for example, to keep the shot longer and to cut just when you take a breath. So that way you are like, you feel that you are out of breath too. So it was like a combination of elements and it was pretty crazy to shoot, but I love that sequence.
What is it like having a conversation with the people who are insuring the movie? Are you like basically, do they ever say to you, no?
Not really, but I mean, for the burning car, the producer, when I showed them the car burning, they were like, "Whoa, are you kidding? We are never going to send Michael there." And this is free. I mean, it's safe. And then it did so. But you know what? At the end, it's like, it's just about, it changed a little bit the process. They were scared, but not for the safety, because this, of course, you want to be safe, and you're going to build and to think about everything in order to get the result to be absolutely safe. Because it's not that you have to shoot the scene once, you have to shoot it 3-4 times, and then the day after you keep shooting. So you don't want to have near small injuries on them. It's difficult because then you have it change a little bit the process of the prep, because you need to do a lot of stuff in advance. You need to train them a lot. You need to do several rehearsals. So this was the scariest thing for producer and financiers. But I agreed, because it was a challenge.
I'm always curious about the editing process, because that's the final rewrite. Can you talk a little bit about what you learned in the editing room, to make the final cut? And did you have a much longer version?
No, the version you're seeing, it's almost the director's cut, just a little bit shorter. So we didn't cut really anything. It's, I don't know, we left 3-4 scenes. No, not a lot. I mean, it was, we were pretty precise. And then I feel that I love the editing room. I like very much the writing process and the editing. The set, it's a mess, because I mean, it's like you have just problem to solve, and it's like somehow it's never exactly as it was in your mind. It's slightly different, even better. Most of the time, it's always better. But in the editing room, it's the moment where you really do the movie, and I love to do so. And we did this during the pandemic, and so it was crazy because I did it home. That was kind of cool experience also.
I've spoken to a lot of directors, and they've told me about the editing experience during the pandemic and just how different it is.
It's cool, I mean, it's different, but it's cool because it's like it's more intimate. It was crazy because I was here in Rome, and then the editor was in Berlin, and then the other people were in LA. Our VFX was in Munich. So we were spread out all around the globe, and we were working like this, sharing. I mean, it was a kind of strange, intimate, and we had more time. That is good.
The movie was originally being released by Paramount, and now it's coming out on Amazon. You can argue that more people are going to see it around the world because of the Amazon release. What are your thoughts on it coming out on Amazon and streaming?
I think it's cool, especially in this moment. I mean, it's like this is a moment where the film industry it's facing. I mean, it's not a disaster, but it's something never happened before. So I still prefer watching movies in film theater, but in this moment, it's like it's an only logical choice, because a lot of people is gonna watch it, and also, if I may, in this moment where I mean you're stuck home, we are tendentially we are a little bit depressed because I mean we cannot do what we normally do. I mean, and then you have a sort of creepy atmosphere around you. So I think it's kind of a gift to be able to show a movie of this scope. It's a sort of gift to the audience that is going to be home enjoying and texting right after. So it's like it's a different experience for sure. But what can we do? I mean, we don't have alternatives, so it's like it's good.
I'm curious what you're thinking about doing next. What are you currently developing?
I'm working on a western, and it's the name is called as the gun, and it's based on the latest treatment Sergio Leone wrote before dying. It's a western with kids, kind of cool. And Dennis Lehane wrote the script.
That is, I've heard of this, and I didn't realize. What? How did you acquire this? I'm assuming other people have thought about using his material.
Yeah, because the Leone's daughter and son called me. They asked me to do it, and then I said, "Whoa, of course."
Right. Do you think it's going to be? Do you think you'll be filming this year? Do you think this is definitely?
Yeah. The idea is to start shooting this winter.
Oh, got it. Is it in? Are you going to shoot in America?
Partially in America, in US, partially in Europe.
Are you already thinking about casting, or is that still too far away?
We're thinking about casting. I will never say anything to you, but
Completely. My last question about it, because I like asking about stuff like this. Can you reveal, like, when does it take place? Is it something in the 1800s? What is the era?
No, not yet.
I understand. I won't push you any further. My last thing for you. Talk a little bit about your relationship with Taylor Sheridan, because obviously you've worked with him a number of times and you got him to contribute working on the script for this. Can you talk about, getting him for Without Remorse, and what's it like to collaborate with him?
I like him very, very much. I mean, we have, of course, it's slightly different, but more or less we have the same approach to the storytelling. And I like him because he pays a lot of attention on the psychology of the character. And then he likes the action, but he feels, as I feel, that it's more important to still follow the characters. And I love his ear for the dialogue. I mean, it's like I love how he writes dialogues. And then it's like, and then of course in Without Remorse, since it was pretty challenging, the idea itself to modernize a Tom Clancy book, because I mean, it's such a big author that was like, oh, yes, let's do it, but we need to be really respectful and careful in doing so. So I need to have with me someone I really trust, and then I really know that it's a smart, respectful author.
Yeah, he's kind of talented. He's okay.
It's cool.
Right. On that note, I got to go. Wish you nothing but the best. Please stay safe. I look forward to this Western.
Thank you very much, sir.